Welcome everyone to our weekly Facebook live show, Life Buildup, where we discuss your success, fulfillment, and balance. I'm your host Zawad, here with Hasan. This week, guys, we're talking about habits. You know, we all do things that are not good for us, and we know they're not good for us, but we just cannot stop them for whatever reason it might be. So we're going to be discussing, what is it that stops us from stopping our bad habits? So it's a special episode for you. I'm just going to share the show a little bit.
Hey, what's up, guys? So glad that you can all join us. I'm excited to be here as always every Monday night, 10 p.m. Happy to, so happy that you can be part of this. So as people are rolling in, to the live session here, our episode tonight, and we're talking about something that's, that's relevant to all of us. And, as we're going to discuss, this past weekend I was with some friends. I was in Maryland, Oakland, and it's beautiful. It's actually supposedly one of the better places to see the fall colors, right? It was.
Did you see fall colors?
Yeah, it was quite beautiful.
There's some really nice views over there.
Yeah, it's very good. I actually on my Facebook page, or if you follow me on Instagram, I actually I have put up some pictures and stuff. It was beautiful, and when you go to nature like that, usually, we live in a city, right?
Yeah.
And so, as city people, we are used to just, I say I live in a box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, I go from my home into my garage, and into my box car, right? Everything's a box. My house is a box, garage is a box, my car is a box. I go from that box to my office,
Feels good to get out.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. If in the city,
Vacations are always nice, bro.
Yeah, that's true. So especially nature vacation, right?
Yeah.
Like if you take some time out and just watch the fall colors, it's beautiful. And especially I think where we were staying, this vacation home rental, the site was so nice, like and we just sat there for a few minutes and you just thought about life. And then it was nice. I mean,
it's a good recharge.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So, for me, when it comes to recharge,
right?
I realize that for everybody something works and something doesn't.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Like for a lot of people, like my cousins, okay, they love playing video games.
Right.
They're when their family goes on vacation,
right?
They don't like that.
They don't like it.
Yeah, they rather stay home and play video games. Okay,
right.
And
some people do that. I mean, some people say my best in vacation for me is staying home, watching Netflix, and ordering pizza, and watching and being
just binging.
Yeah. For some people they say that.
So everybody got different kind of.
Yeah.
So definitely. All right, guys. As you're rolling in, I just want to encourage you guys to please like the video and also share it with your friends.
As we're starting, please give us a like, share the page, because the more you share, the better. We'll be able to reach more people with what we have here, what we really want to share with everyone. So if you share, your friends will see it, and people on your Facebook, and also make sure to like our
Life Buildup
page. Like I said, as eventually we want to move the show to the official page, instead of being on my Facebook page. So we're just happy to get started here.
Yeah. Okay, let's just jump into it. So I think we can begin with defining what a habit really is.
Yeah.
If you want to stop it, first we have to understand kind of have insight into what exactly it is.
Yeah. What is bad habit, right? Or habit in general.
Mm-hmm. How would you define it?
So habit is a behavior, something you're doing, and that's you do it. And you keep on doing it, and it has
it's bad for you.
It's bad for you, right? It's just bad for you.
Simple way to put it. So anything that you're doing,
right?
But that's bad for you.
Yeah.
Something that you consistently do and it's bad for you.
Right.
And also there's some kind of behavior reward, that's associated with that behavior.
Yeah, obviously you're not doing it for the heck of it. I'm sure you're doing it because it does something for you, right? And so there's a habit that you have that you are doing, and it's not good for you, right? And and it's harming you. It could be harming your relationships. It could be harming your career or your business, or you just don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as and it's something you're constantly doing day in and day out, weekly basis,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case might be.
Like, you know, it affects your, like, you know, business relationships,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, career, just your overall, like, you know, general
Right.
well-being.
So things like procrastinating,
Mhm.
right? Being late.
Mhm.
Things like you know, binging shows.
Mhm.
Things like eating junk food.
Mhm.
You know,
Spending money,
spending money.
you know, that.
Or
Yeah.
you know, foul language for some of you. If that's something that you don't like.
Mhm.
You know, biting your nails,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, a lot of people have that issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
biting your nails or smoking. You know, so different people have different
Bad habits.
have bad habits.
Right.
Now, I want to be very careful here. We have to make some distinctions. You know, I'm a mental health professional. You know, along with my, of course, coaching work and leadership consulting work, as a profession, you know, I'm a you know, mental health you know.
So you deal with
professional.
people who have addictions.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
it's the same thing, habits and addiction.
Okay, so I want to be careful here. You know how we define this.
Mhm.
So today, what we're talking about is bad habits, not addiction.
Mhm.
Because you could think of addiction as like, you know, bad habits on steroids. Right? Like that's the best way I can put this. Now that's not really a good definition, and all my mental health colleagues will probably not, you know, be like, what are you saying? But you know, for all of us to understand in a basic level, you could think of bad habit, you know, addiction as a bad habit on steroids. See, addiction is addiction.
So it's like
yeah.
a regular bad habit, like, you know, it could be something, you know, very small. You do it, like, you know, sometimes, but you do it over and over again. But addiction is like, you know, taking it even to the next level.
Yeah,
the next
addiction
level.
is a bad habit that controls your life.
Right.
Literally, like, you know, like someone who has a bad habit, who has addiction of alcohol, for example.
Right.
Literally, alcohol controls their life. Like they live, they get up in the morning, they earn money. Everything relates to their next high or their next, you know,
Like
drink.
they live for that.
They live for that.
Right.
So that's or if now, you know, there are other definitions, like some people have social media. Actually, they define an addiction, a pornography addiction, and again, addiction is something that's not consuming your life. Someone can have pornography bad habit. It can also be pornography addiction. Now, certain things are not bad habits. Certain things automatically become addiction because of how intense it is.
Like
So,
what?
cocaine. So you cannot have a bad habit for cocaine. Like you can't be like, oh, I have this bad habit, you know. I'm in love with the cocoa, you know. So
Yeah.
no, it's not how it works.
Is that what they mean when I love with the cocoa?
Yeah, it's cocaine.
Really?
So you know, it's a song. So
That's a cereal, man.
huh?
Never mind.
Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah.
No, it's not Cocoa Puffs.
all right.
So the you know, if
So
yeah.
you know, so addiction is something that's like, you know, taking to the nth level, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
highest level.
It controls your
where
life.
It literally
But,
controls
but
your
what,
life.
I'm saying, though, is to be very careful here, is that certain things are automatically designated as addiction. So you cannot have a cocaine bad addiction. Now, someone might claim that they have a cocaine bad addiction, but to be honest, there's no such thing as cocaine bad. It's purely addiction.
Because it's just so addictive.
It's so
right?
potent.
Right,
It's
right.
so strong. And I would even argue, this might, you know, some people might disagree here, and feel free, that the current, you know, weed, right? So pot, you know, or you know, the current version of it is actually addiction. Because
Why would you say that?
Because you know, the green in the 80s is not didn't have the same THC level that the current weed has. That's the actual chemical that gets you high.
But like, what about people that said that I can quit anytime?
Well, again, that's arguable. So I'm saying. So if
Because usually with weed, like, you know, people that I have known that smokes
Yeah,
weed,
right.
okay, you know, they say that, you know what, I can quit anytime that I want.
True. Okay, again, I'm just saying that I would argue that I think the current, because they're so potent, the current the weed at its current form, what is now in the market, the synthetic version, right? It's not the greens of the 80s, right? This is like in 2017, and this synthetic, you know, is very strong. So my point being to you, you know, maybe
To summarize, okay?
yeah, to summarize here is that we're talking about bad habits. We're talking about things they do. Now, you know, you brought up something before the show. You were talking about, you know, things we say, right? So you're right. I mean, there are certain things we say that can also be a habit, right? So certain thoughts, even. Like, so I think, you know, give me an example. Like, you know, a thought that you could think about, like you always think,
Like, for example, you know, you have a tendency to think of the worst about people.
right? So that's a good example. That could be a thought
Like, you
habit.
think that they're against you.
Yeah. So that's actually also a habit. So thoughts can also be habit. But for this show in particular, we're talking about actual behaviors, things that you do only. Because you could say some thoughts are habit, but we're defining at a very behavioral level right now. So things that you do that, just not good for you, but you keep on doing them, and it gets you some reward, right? And more than that, so we're not talking about addiction. Certain things can be addiction, which are things that.
So like we're talking about things like like for example being late all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Spending like too much money on
Right.
just shopping.
Right. Smoking at some level depends.
Okay. Yeah. It's that. So like minor things. Okay. That like kills your time. That wastes your talent.
Right.
Like it damages relationships.
Right.
On very small ways. How do you stop those things?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And so I think because of like those consequences that it creates,
right.
It's so important to talk about this and
yeah.
See how we can combat.
Yeah, look, people are, because of these habits, you're ruining relationships. Because of these habits that you have, you're wasting money. Because of the habits, talents are being wasted because you're watching so many shows and you can't even help it. Right? Or other things, simple stuff like biting your nails. That's a habit.
Right.
Now, biting your nails could be due to whatever purpose is serving. We'll talk about that in a second. But it might be, it's not good for you because you're getting germs, maybe getting sick because of that, right? So it could be as small as a biting.
And like just if you're like in a social setting,
yeah.
Okay, and you have a habit of biting nails.
Okay. Some might not like it.
Like
right?
especially like if you're into business.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I would say.
Right.
And you meet with somebody.
Right.
Okay, and you have a tendency to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
The person you're talking to could be
Right.
like, yo, this guy doesn't have any discipline.
Right.
And it just creates a bad impression and so forth.
That's true.
So small things that
but
have,
it makes a difference.
Right.
Or even foul language. You're so used to cursing
Yeah.
that you can't even go without saying curse. In some settings, people don't like it. So
Right.
how do you manage that? But some people might argue that that's more of a behavior choice.
Right.
Anyways, so we're talking about things that you do that is not good for you.
Right.
And you do them on a repeated basis. Right.
So why do you think it's like hard? Because all of us like I think at some point like we admitted, okay, maybe what, this is not good for me.
Right. Right.
And we say we want to change it, but it's very hard for us to actually get rid of it. So why is it so hard for us?
So you have to understand how habit forms, right? So like what exactly is habit, right? So what happens to you? So you do a behavior, and it has a purpose. Like it serves a purpose. So many people looked at it many different ways, right? Some people looked at it as a need. So everything that you're doing, all the habits that you're doing, there's a reason why you're doing them, right? It's not garbage. There's a reason why you're actually doing them. Now, different people have explored it different ways. Different psychologists have talked about it in different ways, right? Some people said that it serves a need. So all of your bad habits serve a need.
So there are innate needs that every human being has.
We all have some needs.
And those
Right.
bad habits
Right.
meet those needs when we can't find good ways to meet them.
Exactly.
Right?
So we don't have a good way to meet those needs. So we found a unhealthy way of meeting those needs. So needs could be your need for consistency. One experts have defined this way. Need for consistency, need for variety in life. So you want something to
need for certainty.
Need for certainty, right? Need for significance, meaning you want to stand out. You want some people define it that way. Other psychologists have said it's because it serves a need. As far as your dopamine, right? So it feels good. So it serves that need. Other people defined it as it serves your basic human needs, like your food. They define basic needs as food, procreation.
So for example, if somebody has a junk food addiction,
right.
Okay, so how does it serve their need?
So one group would say that it gives them diversity. So it gives them variety in life. So you eat junk food every time it's a different flavor.
Right. Versus eating chicken and broccoli all the time.
Right. It gets a different flavor. It gets a little kick in your brain. Feel good.
Right.
Some people define it in we call it the 7 deadly sin. Right?
Yeah.
And we're not talk about religion, but 7 deadly sin is interesting. The evolutionary psychologists have looked at this in a very interesting way, right? They said that the 7 deadly sins that a lot of faith talk about this have an evolutionary need. So, for example, your need for lust is actually your need for procreation. Like human beings are hardwired to continue their species.
So it's like innate stuff.
Yeah. They want to continue their species, right? The need for overindulgence, food, other resources, you know, is because, you know, what if you run out of food? So you need food.
So you gotta keep on eating.
Laziness is actually just conservation of energy. You don't want to waste a resource.
Right.
So your body has innate need to be lazy so that you conserve energy. You don't want to waste resources.
Right.
You know, anger is a way of protecting your resources. The resources is your food, you know, sex, the resources, right? And you protect them, right? And
so all of these bad habits, okay,
Yeah.
like, you know, that we have, okay, they actually serve something that we actually
It's
do.
happening, look, my point being to you, you know, different people look at it a different way. The point is, it serves a need. So one things you have to do if you want to stop your bad habit, you got to figure out what need is it serving. Look, your Netflix show is serving a need. Your you know, so it's serving the need of entertainment. You feel, if your life feels boring, your life doesn't have excitement, so you like the drama inside your screen, right? If you're you know, lateness, what it does is, you know, you procrastinating, it helps you, you know, have this certainty. We'll talk more about that when we get to later in the show. Your, you know, need.
Wait, how does procrastination have certainty?
Certainty? Okay, so what procrastination does is you avoid pain. Not really certainty, but you avoid pain. So what is procrastination? It's like saying that, okay, last year I did the paper. I did it at the very last minute, end of the semester, and it was a lot of hard work. Doing that research paper was a lot of work. It was so much pain. I had to stay up the whole night. It was pain.
So it's avoiding pain.
You want to avoid pain.
So it's procrastinating, or
Yeah.
serving the need of our
Avoiding pain.
Avoiding pain.
Yeah.
Right.
So either you're getting pleasure or you avoiding pain.
Right.
So serves a need. Think about it. I mean, so actually your body wants to, you know, not feel pain. So which is a good thing. So you have to remember that you know, it's serving a good purpose. You're nail biting, right? Why do you bite your nails? Because, you know, on your finger there are nerve endings, right? And so when you bite them, it's putting pressure on the nerve ending, and actually it de-stresses you. So if you're stressed out and you're putting pressure on nerve ending, it feels good. Same way why people do this, right? They make their face has a lot of nerve endings, and so you're smoothing your face, you're sort of massaging your face, so it feels good. So point is, you know, that your bad habit is serving a need, and you need to figure out what the need is.
And that's the reason, like, you know, it's so hard to get rid of it.
Yes, because you haven't found a healthy alternative. And maybe in another show where we talk about how to get rid of bad habits, we'll talk about, you know, how do you replace those needs. But point here today is for you to know that, you know, what need is it serving for me. Really look inside your life, look at your bad habits, think about them. Whatever habits you have, whether it be financially, whether it be relationship, whether it be personally, in your own time, whatever habits you have, think about what need is it serving. You know. So
what are some other reasons? Okay, so let's say, like, you know, you define that, you know, for me to, because I watch, like, you know, multiple Netflix shows and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, it's because I need some variety in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I need to look at, like, you know, I need to explore life. You
Yeah,
know, that's
yeah.
one of the ways that I do it. So it serves that need.
Yeah.
So what are some other things, you know, that makes it hard for us to get over his habits?
So there's also the brain wiring, right? So this is how habit is formed in the brain. So you can imagine that, you know, you are 13-year-old, or 13, that's my days. You are 8-year-old and you get a smartphone, and, you know, you get up in the morning you're groggy, going to school, and so you pick up your phone, right? Pick up your phone and you go to social media, right? You go to Instagram and you start to see pictures. All those pictures start tickle your brain. Right? They get all kind of messages, all kind of social messages, all kind of tickling and good feeling, right? All kind of variety. So you learn, your body now says, okay, so whenever in the morning I get up and I go, where's my phone? I grab it, or next time to me, I grab it, I pick it up, open my eye barely, I let my muscle in my eyes make them move, my hand muscle makes them moves, and when I take it out, I get a pleasure. Now your brain goes automatic. Now
your brain almost creates like a
pathway. Yes,
right?
yes. So certain neurons fire together, they stick together, they form an express highway. It's like this. You go on this certain road over again. Imagine
it becomes like a second nature.
Yeah, you go to like a grassland, right? And you take your car and you just go over that lane over and over again. It creates a pathway. Really, you know, you go to like a park, you see like, people used to walk here. Like, you know, that one spot everybody walks on,
right.
Like it messes up the grass in that spot. So it's like that. You literally, a spot's forming your brain. But the cool part is, if you don't walk on it, on the damn thing for, you know, 10, 15 days, or, you know, 10, 15 weeks, new grass forms. So actually, neuroplasticity, your brain's actually able to rewire. That's why you're not stuck with the habit. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so what I was saying is, so you know, your
so your brain actually creates like, because
pathway.
The reason that is very hard to like just say that, you know what, I'm going to stop eating junk food.
Yeah.
You know, one of the reasons is because your brain, you know, as you going to the store,
right?
You know, and buying the food,
right?
You know,
or you ordering in,
or you ordering in,
right? Yeah.
So all of it, all the things has a pathway.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that pathway repeats over and over and over again,
and becomes strong.
Yeah.
Like now,
and your brain knows that, like, you know, at the end of the pathway, there's a reward.
Exactly. Now you just, you know, like you go to a movie theater and you just sat down and you're feeling excited. You haven't seen a damn thing yet, but you're expecting to feel good. Right? You picked up your phone. You haven't even you just saw a notification. Literally, you have not even read. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Right? Is somebody, you know, messaging me something good or bad? But you saw a notification, automatically your body feels good. Just a click ding, and you're like, ooh, wow. You know, you start to feel good. That's the neural hardwiring that happens as far as your habit is concerned. You know.
No, I mean, like, you know, that's great. So, like, you know, to summarize, so number one, you know, why it's so hard for us to get rid of our habits.
Right.
Number one, we spoke about, you know, when we do it over and over again, it gives us a reward.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, like, you know, our brain creates pathways.
Yeah.
Okay. Towards that, like, if we do, like, you know, certain actions,
right,
in a certain pattern, then we get a reward at the end of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And also it serves the different needs that we have.
It serves different needs, yeah.
Right. So there are specific needs that we have, like variety, certainty, like, you know, feeling important. So in order to meet these needs, we do like, you know, certain behavior and over again in order to meet them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
and it feels good, you know.
Yeah. So how do we actually, like, you know, go about getting rid of them? Like, you know, so what was the solution?
So you know, so in this show, we're going to talk about the more underneath issue, right? And as far as solutions concerned, so there are what I call 3 things that are holding you back from being able to, you know, remove and manage and you know, cope with the bad habit. 3, we call it core anchors, right? Number 1 is denial. Number 2 is pride. Number 3 is fear. So we've been talking about what exactly is bad habit, you know, how it affects you. We talked about how it forms neural pathways. We talked about, you know, how it serves a need actually. So don't look at your bad habit as an evil dude. Think of it as is your body telling you it needs something, right? All your bad habits has a good reason. All your bad habits has a good reason. So find that good reason, and you need to replace those good reasons, right? And realize that, you know what,
like eating food is a good reason.
Yeah.
You know,
right, energy.
Yeah,
and
energy is a good reason.
And that there's a neuroplasticity. So your brain did form a pathway, but that can be rewired, right? Anyways, coming back to these 3 anchors that really holds us back. Why it's so difficult? And number 1 is denial. Denial meaning, you know, you might not even know that you have a bad habit. You might think that's what I do, but not that you watch the show, right? And you are not aware. Oh, so what I've been doing is actually a thing. It's called a bad habit. Like you might have.
So if you admit to yourself the thing that you're doing is actually bad for you. And it's something called a bad habit.
Right. So you might not even know that it's a bad habit. Number 2, you might.
Like I think they say that, like, you know, the first step to any kind of change is like admitting to yourself that there is a problem.
You gotta be honest with yourself.
Right.
You gotta be honest with yourself. Right. Number 2 is you might be rationalizing it. You say, well, yeah, I do it, but there's a reason why, you know? There's a reason why I do it. Not the reason I'm talking about. I'm talking about you have excuses, basically. Right?
So you give a reason on, like, you know,
excuse.
This is the reason I'm actually doing this.
And I can't stop. Right. So you give an excuse for yourself, right? Or, you know, so you give an excuse.
I think you also minimize it, right?
You can minimize it, yeah.
Minimize, like, you know, how bad it is.
That's a good one. Yeah. So you say, like, you know what? It's not that bad. No. I watch. You know, for 8 hours. What's so bad about that? Or, you know, yes, it's nail biting. Who cares? Like, it's not a big deal. And, like, it's not a big deal. You know. Or I spend some money, you know, but I'm within my credit limit. You know. So you start to rationalize. You start to make, you know, minimize that it's not a big deal.
And this go hand in hand together.
Yeah, it does. It goes hand in hand.
So yeah, absolutely.
So you have to be serious about this. So we could do a whole show on it, and we could do 5 shows on this. But you will not be able to get rid of a bad habit and replace them until you are serious about this.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a must or is it a should? Right? Is it like, yeah, it'd be a good idea, I guess, if I don't procrastinate anymore, if I hand in my paper on time, I think it'd be a good idea. Is it a good idea, or is it like serious?
Like you have to do it.
Yeah,
This is something that you cannot tolerate anymore in your life.
Exactly. When I do workshops, I do this, right? I tell people, like, imagine that you're on top of 2 buildings, right? And I ask you to cross on a thin tightrope. Would you do it? Right? They say no. And I hold the gun. Would you cross? No. If I said, like, if you don't cross, I'm gonna shoot your parents. Shoot your mom. Then maybe you will. How much would you cross for? 1 million, 2 million, a billion? There's a price tag. So how serious is it? The same people who tell me.
I think it's like how much pain you get out of it.
Yeah.
Or how much reward
you're expecting.
You're expecting.
So the simple example of this is people tell me I can't be on time. I'm never on time. But you catch a damn flight.
Because you have enough reasons.
You're like,
if you don't catch the flight, you're out of $400.
Yeah,
$500. Whatever.
But your paper, you're like, I could take the hit. I could
in the next paper I'll do better.
Yeah, I can take the hit. So it's not serious for you. You're getting by in life by not making to your morning classes. You're getting by in life by overeating because you don't have
I think that's one of the reasons why people change.
Yeah.
When they feel so much pain in something, that makes them, I had it.
That's true.
Absolutely. I mean, realizing that something causes you so much pain, or realizing the reward that you're gonna get out of it, and really making it vivid in front of your face.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what makes you change.
That's true. So that's denial. Number 2 is pride. Pride is you think this bad habit. Whenever you want to, you could change it. You're so much in control. I'm doing it. I know. I'm doing it because
I want to do it.
I want to undo it.
Okay, I can stop whenever I want.
Yeah, but it's not true. And this is especially true for addicts, right? And also true for bad habits. That you think you can stop. No, it has actually become a bad habit, and you're having a hard time. You're having cravings, and you find yourself keep on doing it without even thinking about it. Dude, it's a habit now, right?
So after you said to yourself, what, this is bad for me.
Yeah.
The second thing that's going to stop you. From actually making some real change is that your pride. You say that I can change this anytime I want. Even though it's bad for me, I can change it anytime I want.
And a telltale sign of that is that you hide it from people. Right? So you act like in front of people that
you have it under control.
You have it under control, right? You act like in front of people that you hide your overeating, you hide your overspending, you hide your over binging. You actually hide these things, right? So people think you got it all together, right? And so
yeah, and you're not especially if it's a friend or a family member, you don't want to open up to them.
No,
because you have that pride inside of you.
You live with a mask.
Yeah.
In Latin, the word persona, it comes from a word that means mask. We all put on a mask. We walk around with a mask, right? And you act like you don't have this bad habit, or I'm not affected by it, or that's not me. But you over binging, you're overeating, you're over spending, but and whatever means for you, but you're hiding it. And once you're hiding it, that's a telltale sign of your pride, right? And it's gonna hold you back from changing. Really, if you cannot open up to the closest people in your life and let them know that this is what I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, then you'll never be able to address it because you're too.
So
prideful.
don't let your pride hold you back.
Yeah.
Don't let your pride hold you back from creating actual change in your life and getting rid of those
because
bad habits.
Change needs honesty, honesty with yourself. Like, I have this bad habit, and I gotta do something about it, right? And being able to feel that
humble enough.
Yeah, humble enough. Yeah.
Being humble enough to say to others that listen, I need some help.
No, don't announce it on Facebook. That's not what we're saying. I mean, for some people it might work, but what I'm saying is that share with your close friends, mentors, family.
Like a lot of people that have addictions.
Yeah.
Okay, they this is the first. This is usually YouTubers.
Yeah, right.
Okay, what they do is they make a public video.
Wow.
And say to their audience.
That takes a lot of courage. Yeah.
Yeah, they say to their audience, listen, I'm dealing with this. And that's usually one of the first steps into changing.
Yeah.
And exactly what you said, in the sense that they hide it.
Right.
They make it seem like everything is going fine.
Perfect. Yeah.
But then you see all of a sudden they make a video that I'm actually struggling with this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And look, we all struggling.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. Jaws is not perfect. We all have habits we're working on. And but being honest with yourself and you know, and not walk around with some kind of persona that you're somebody better or that you got it under control. Because you put on this mask, it creates more anxiety.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. The more you walk around not being you, putting on a fake persona on social media, a fake persona on front of your friend group in your hangouts, and you put on this fake you, that creates emptiness and anxiety inside you, and it makes you want to act out even more on your bad habit. Really, it does. Right. And so number 3 is your fear. Right. So you know, that number 3 thing that holds you back from being able to address, you know, and overcome your bad habit is your fear. What kind of fear? Fear that, you know what, I can never get to a point where I can stop this habit. Really, it's possible? Can I actually do it? Like, it's too hard, right? And it's so much work, and I don't know how to go through so much pain. And I tell people all the time, look,
like, you think it's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah,
you know, and like you won't be able to achieve it.
And I tell people there is pain of recovery. So you know what, when you
so there is gonna be some pain.
Yes, and I tell this to especially people dealing with addictions. That look, you're gonna feel the craving, you're gonna want to do it. You're gonna you know, feel like ripping your hair apart when you have that craving for, you know, whether it be drug, whether it be alcohol, whether it be pornography, whatever. But you're gonna have to push forward, right? And that's for addiction. Also, same with bad habits. You know, it's not as severe, but still you're gonna feel some craving. You're gonna feel the automatic, you know, habit of trying to do something.
And you're gonna feel the pain of, like, you know, not doing it.
Yeah,
you know, not indulging into it.
And that's part of recovery. Because you might feel like, am I gonna live with this pain all, like, my whole life? No, you're not. Your brain's gonna recover until that, you know, that grass grows back on that road, right? Until that highway is destroyed and a new highway, a healthy highway, is built in your brain. You're gonna feel some of the pain, but it will go away. It will go away. You're not gonna be stuck with it all your life. It will go away. You know, habits take some people say it takes a month, some say 6 months, you know, in between that range, but it will go away, right? So that fear that, you know what, I'm not gonna make it, it's not possible. And number 2 fear is that you're afraid to let go of that pleasure, to be honest. Like, you like it. You like it when you're anxious and you bite your nails. You like it when you're frustrated and you could go and just shop. You like it when you can just sit and just, you know.
So, like, all the bad habits that we have, okay, there's actually
pleasure.
There's pleasure involved with it.
Yeah.
You know,
pleasure or avoiding pain.
Right.
So, like, procrastination, you know, you like it. You like being able to delay it and not.
It feels good.
It feels good.
Like, you know, like, just putting it off and like, you know, entertaining ourselves or, like, you know, doing other things.
Yeah.
It feels good to do it.
Yeah. If you have the habit of you know, getting angry, for example, right? You know, that could be a habit too, where you feel powerful when you can scream and yell, right? You have this habit of you screaming and yelling. That feels good. You know, or a small bad habit. You like just.
So I think, like, you know, we're not like, you know, conscious of it. Okay,
Right.
when we, like, you know, think about, you know, what fear.
Yeah.
I think that's a very, 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 like, you know, insightful point.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
It is. Yeah.
that, like, you know, we're actually the things that we say that are bad for us. You know, even though we say that is bad for us, you know, it's giving us something. You know,
Right.
it's fun to do it.
Right.
You know, it's fun to indulge in these things, and we're afraid of losing it.
Yeah. Part of us actually afraid that you know, that we'll lose it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Part of us are actually afraid.
Just before we continue, guys, if you're joining us, I really appreciate it. If you can drop a like on the video, and also, you know, this is a weekly show that we have every Monday night at 10 p.m. You'll see that, you know, there's a option for you to turn on notifications every time we go live.
Yeah.
Turn on the notification, and also, like, you know, share the video with your friends. We really appreciate it. It supports the show. You know, helps us get it out to more people.
Yeah.
You know, me and Hasan over here, we want to benefit as many people as possible.
And that's why we're here. We want to be able to make some impact in everyone, people, you know, your life, even in a small way.
Yeah.
You know, we're not here promising, you know, life-changing transformation. Blah, blah, blah. Now, really, what we are promising is that make some significant impact in your life, and that's our hope.
Yeah.
You know, and so the last point being fear that you know you can't let go, and so part of being able to be able to stop your bad habits is actually changing identity. Changing who you think you are, right? So I tell smokers when I'm working with smokers, I tell them, don't stop smoking. I don't want you to stop smoking. I want you to become a non-smoker. Just stop for a moment and think about that for a second. What I said is very powerful. I don't want you to stop smoking. I want you to become a non-smoker. I don't want you to, you know, stop biting your nails, but I want you to be someone that doesn't bite nails. You know, so the best example,
basically having an identity,
Yeah.
then you do things that are, like, you know, that goes with that identity.
Right.
Anything that doesn't go with that identity,
Right.
you avoid it.
So, for example, if you're a serial killer, right, and you're you know, and let's just say that, right? And
Okay, you guys serial killers.
no, I mean, if you're, you know, you're you know, whatever, and antisocial, and you have this severe, you know, and you know, serial killers, when they have some triggers, they kill, right? Sometimes it's stress trigger for them. Sometimes, you know, but no matter what happens in your life, most of you are not killers. You're not going to go and kill people. I was too stressed, I had to kill someone. But you say, no, I was too stressed today. I had to drink. I was too stressed today. You know, I had to, you know, binge. No, it cannot be an option.
So because you're not that person.
Right. So for example, I hope none of you here are, you know, cocaine addicts. But if you're not a cocaine addict, right, for example, no matter how stressful your day is, no matter what's going on in your life, you're
never gonna resort to cocaine.
You're not gonna be like, okay, you know what? It was too tough today. I had to do cocaine. Like, because you don't do cocaine because you're not a cocaine addict.
Right.
So most of you, none of you here are cocaine addicts. So you will not resort to cocaine addiction. Resort to cocaine. Same way I'm telling you, whatever habit you have to make it so that that's not an option for you. So procrastination is just an option.
So if you're like a procrastinator,
right,
you have to say to yourself, you know what? From now on,
right,
I'm somebody that always shows up on time.
Right.
Like, you know, being late to anything. Okay, it's just not part of my, you know.
Yeah, it's not part of who I am.
Yeah.
It's not just an option. So,
but what happens when, like, you know, let's say they make that decision. They say to themselves, you know what? You know, from now on, I'm somebody that's always on time. Okay, I'm very punctual. I'm a punctual person.
Right.
You know, that's just who I am right now.
Well, yeah.
But then they do something that they engage in the behavior that contradicts that. So how do you think that affects that?
That's
person?
relapse. That's relapse, or that's a part of the, you know, growth. You know, part of growth. So yeah.
So it's normal to have that. And are you saying that eventually, like, you know, that relapse is gonna go away?
Less and less. We're not gonna be perfect. No, you're not angels. You're not gonna be perfect, right? Especially with bad habits. Habits, some are good. Our behavior, some are good, some are bad, right? So we're not gonna be perfect. We're gonna do 100% all good behavior. It's a progress. You're gonna get better and better. There's never ending to being better, being more efficient, more productive, more fulfilled, more happy, more.
So there's never a destination.
No.
Right?
It's just about improvement.
Right. It's improvement.
Right? But with addiction, for example, you want to recover. You definitely don't want to have, in a clinical level, bad habits with your addiction. You definitely don't want to have that, right? That's, you know, deters your life. But you know, this is a process. So in the next few shows, when we talk about habits, we'll talk about, you know, how do you exactly go about stopping the bad habits, right? So we'll talk about patterns. How do you look at your triggers? How do you replace your bad habit, right? And then maybe another show we'll discuss about what to do when you have relapse. How do you learn from relapse? And how do you get better and better? Right? And maybe another show we can talk about addiction itself, like in the severe level of bad habits.
Yeah, so like if this is just to like an introduction level,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, why is it that like we cannot stop our bad habits?
Right.
You know, we spoke about like all the harm that it causes us, like, you know, waste our time, like, you know, waste our talents,
Right.
you know, ruins our relationships and, like, you know, business, everything, you know, careers, just bad for us, like, you know, small things that we do, you know, and you know, in order to overcome this stuff, you know, definitely, like, you know, me and Hasan are going to be doing more episodes on this
topic,
and let us know if this episode was helpful.
And if
like,
you noticed, you know, this is what episode number 8 today. Our last 8 episodes, we've been doing a lot of different topics. There's a reason why we've been doing that, because we want to introduce you to different themes that we want to cover.
Right.
Different areas of life, relationship, business, and, you know, we haven't even gone to some business areas as well. We want to cover. But in the shows to come, look, our shows every week. We're committed to this for the next several years. You know, we're gonna be with you every Monday night, 10 p.m. You know, and we want to go into in depth. You know, and go, you know, part by part. But in the last 8 episodes, we've been introducing different concepts, different areas. You know?
So we're going to be going more in depth in those stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely. Just to, I think, wrap up to the episode. Okay, I think we covered a lot of material.
We did.
You know, you want to wrap it up real quick?
Sure. So today we're talking about bad habits. You know, things that we do repeatedly that, you know, just not good for us.
That's bad for us.
Bad for us, right?
You know?
Yeah. And it's affecting us, affecting our relationship, affecting, you know, our career, businesses, affecting. We just don't feel.
It's harming us in one way or another. It's harming us.
And then we talked about, you know, what is a bad habit, right? We talked about how it forms in the brain, how it serves a purpose, meaning all your bad habits is the reason why you're doing them. There's actually a good, genuine, honorable reason as to why you're doing them.
It's serving a need.
Serving a need.
Yeah.
So finding that need out. What is it? What need? And of course, in later episodes, we'll talk about how you get a better way of serving that need, right? Along with that, it forms a pathway, and then there are internal factors, right? What stops us? What blocks us? So we talked about denial, not even knowing that you have a bad habit, or thinking that your bad habit is not a big deal. You don't want to deal with it.
Or you rationalize, I'm doing it because of this.
Or you have pride. Pride meaning you put up a front in front of people that you don't have these habits, or you don't seek out help, or you don't, open up to your friend or your mentors, right? And especially for addiction, right? Here we're just talking about bad habits, but definitely addiction, you definitely reach out to a professional, And thirdly, there's a fear that, I will not be able to do it. It's not possible. I've been doing this for so long. Or that, that's just me. Like some people say that, that's just me. I'm just late all the time. It's just me. Well, I just overeat. Oh, I just overspend. Oh, I just smoke. Oh, I just bite my nails. That's just me. That's not you. That can change, right? That's not you. And as I tell people, don't stop smoking, but become a non-smoker. Don't stop smoking.
So change your identity.
Change who you think you are, right? So
I think like from the entire episode, what stood out to me is number one, realize that your habits serve a need. It's something that you need for your life. It's not something like, for example, eating junk food.
Right.
Okay. The need that you need to serve is that you need energy for your body.
Right.
Or
variety, different flavors.
Or variety, different flavors.
Your life is so boring. You get excitement and thrill through food.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not all the things that
you're not a bad person.
You're not a bad person for doing it.
Yeah.
Try to figure out what is the underneath issue, and I think we'll expand on this more.
Yeah, of course.
In
later episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. And this other thing that stood out to me is realizing the 3 factors that stop you.
Yeah.
So your denial. Are you actually saying to yourself, the thing that I'm doing, okay, me overspending, every time I get a paycheck, okay, me spending it all on clothes and food and just commodities, that's good for me, and rationalizing it to yourself and not admitting to yourself that, this is actually bad for me. It's a bad habit that I have. So you have to be able to say to yourself, this is a bad habit that I have, and really be honest with yourself, and admit to yourself this is a bad habit.
Right.
That's number one. And number two, as you said, was pride. Are you humble enough to admit to a close friend, that I need help, a close family member, I need help.
Or do you cover it? Now it's good to have dignity.
Yeah.
Good to not go out there in public and just rant out. I'm messed up. I'm this. Good to have some self dignity, but don't walk around with a mask. Don't be fake.
Don't hide.
Don't be fake.
Yeah.
It doesn't help you.
Right. And lastly, the fear.
Yeah.
The fear of losing out on the fun. The fear of thinking that I cannot change. That's going to stop you in order to stop your bad habits.
Right. And deep down, as much as you hate your bad habit, you like it.
Yeah.
And until you can say goodbye to your bad habit, until you can have some closure and break up with your bad habit, you will not be able to address it. Right?
Yeah, guys. I think that will do it. Just before we go, again, once again, thank you again so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
This is a weekly live show that we have every Monday night at 10 p.m. I hope you can join us again next week. Next week's episode, let me just double check.
And you know what? Since I know some of you you watch every week, and I know some of you, especially I know a lot of people you watch the replays. So you're watching this not live, but you watch it afterwards.
Or listen to a podcast.
Yeah. So why don't you do this? I would love it if you can put us in your schedule. I know this is asking a lot from you, but if we can request that you put us on your schedule and you book us, every night 10 p.m. A time to sit down with us, right? So put it on your schedule every Monday night 10 p.m. We'll love to have you. So I know this is asking a lot from you, but we're requesting that you make us part of your life. Every night 10 p.m. Monday night, every night. Why did I say every night?
and guys, look,
Monday night, people.
Every Monday night, 10 p.m. And let us know, what are the things that you want us to cover?
Yeah, exactly.
We'd love to, because right now, so far we've been covering topics that, we think are, relevant to you.
Right.
But, please let us know, what are the things that you're struggling with.
Yeah.
And we'd love to, talk about those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, again, if you can please share the show and drop a like on the video. And also you'll see there's a option for you guys to turn on notifications every time we go
Yeah.
live, so that you guys get like a notification on your phone and you can join us on Monday nights. I really appreciate that as well.
Like our page, Life Buildup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you cannot join us over at 10 p.m., you can also look us up on YouTube. Just search up Life Buildup on YouTube; it will come up.
And we are on podcast.
Yeah.
So that's
if you're working out, you're going to work, whatever you're doing,
driving.
driving, just some
in the train.
Yeah, in the train. Just like look us up on iTunes, search up Life Buildup. I also put a link on the video.
Listen to that music on replay over and over again. I know you like the tune. Tune is pretty cool, but we might be able to give you some benefit.
Yeah.
We're not trying to say we're great, but we'll give you some benefit.
Yeah.
So and I know we try to deliver as much as we can. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. End of the show. Thank you so much for joining us again. Lastly, next week our episode is going to be how to forgive someone.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So we all have grudges. That one person. That we just cannot forgive.
Or someone has a whole blacklist.
Yeah. Right. And how is it that we actually go about forgiving someone?
How to move forward?
Yeah.
Right? We have people that hurt us in our life, people that messed up. And how do we move forward?
Yeah. So that's gonna be next week, 10 p.m. Monday night. I hope you can join us. And until then.
All right, guys. Good night.
All right. Good night.